And a good afternoon to everyone. Hopefully, all you guys are having a good night. Now, let's see who we got in the house with us tonight. Miss Rachel, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. I sure appreciate that. It's always good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Karen, thanks so much for coming in. It's good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it and good to see you. Miss Betty Feliciano, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it. It's good to see you. Nisi and David, thank y'all so much for coming in. Appreciate it. It's good to see y'all. Welcome. Make sure we got everybody. There we go. Uh, my bro, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it. And Tammy, thanks so much for coming in. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody. Hopefully, everyone's having a fantastic night. As y'all saw, I want to thank everybody for voting on our updated channel banner there. I really appreciate that. Everybody's input. You guys made a good choice. Unfortunately, sometimes the way things work out, things are formatted wrong. So I had to change that picture to where we could still use it. So we took the best of the top two and made the new one, which I have now updated to here. When I turn my camera off, you see that little outline of it. But we couldn't have made that decision without y'all, and we really appreciate all your input. 100% apologize for missing last week's live. I had a sinus migraine that lasted nearly into the next day and had a freak thing going on. We were watching TV, and all of a sudden, the internet died. Then we had this crazy loud alarm going off. Welcome in, David. Thanks so much for coming in. And we couldn't figure out what it was, and it was the loudest thing that I had ever heard in my life. And I mean, it was crazy loud, and it wouldn't stop. Um, Found out it was actually a battery backup that goes to the router in Hope's room. Um, the battery had just died, and it happened to be when the place was closed. So I just called a random 1-800 number that was associated with the box, and they told me how to fix it, which I did. And then it took them like 4 days to get the internet fixed, and come to find out, the only reason why the internet was off was we were unplugging stuff, trying to get the beeping to stop. And when we plugged it back up, I hooked a wire into the wrong spot. So we were without internet for 4 days, and all I had to do was just swap a wire and push a button. And I felt like an absolute idiot, but it is what it is. We got through that, got our internet back. Hope's doing pretty good. Autumn's got some stuff going on right now. She'll be all right, I think. It's just some swelling in her legs and feet. We think we figured out what it was, got it took care of, hopefully. Uh, it's just now we're back to normal, hopefully. And then tomorrow, I am still working for the same company, just in a different area. And I've done the same job for 10 years straight, and this is going to take me some getting used to. But what ain't going to take me getting used to is the hours. I am so glad to not have to go to bed at the crack of dawn. Well, whenever the sun's still out, I usually have to go to bed at like 8. Now I can go to bed at like 11, 10, 11 o'clock. And I'm not having to get up before the chickens do at 2 o'clock. I don't have to be at work till 7 now, so that's going to be awesome. Uh, be able to participate in some other channels that I used to, but I couldn't because of the time. But I feel like it's going to open up some, I can join in things I wasn't able to before, and feel like a normal human being working normal hours instead of getting off of work at 1 and going in at 3 or 4 in the morning. That's just, I mean, it's all good, but it just makes you feel terrible. So hopefully all that'll work out. I think it's going to be a lot easier on me physically. The other job, everything I handled weighed 50 pounds or more, and this other job we're handling nowhere near the amount of weight. So I'm hoping health wise it's going to be better for me, and it's just going to be great. I hope and pray. Good Lord makes things work out. Uh, I've been trying to make this move for years, but I wasn't allowed because not just anybody could do my job. And I just got lucky. 2 people came from other stores that could do my job. So that's the only reason why I was allowed to leave. So uh, it's going to be awesome. I know things happen for a reason. So looking forward to that. So any other changes? Thank everybody for commenting on that video that I posted yesterday, I think. We did that Appalachian supper video. This video, let's see. If you're talking about this one, this is a dulcimer that it needs. I need to carry it to the music store and have them. One of the strings broke on it. I might have to have it restrung and tuned up and everything. But that's a mountain dulcimer. You just lay it across your lap and just strum it, and then you can barely see this one. That's a cigar box guitar that I actually made myself. I want to say this. I guess the string broke on it, but it's just got fishing line on it, like a plastic type string, and it's a fretless. It's made out of a Bible case. I actually handmade that. So, and then this is a very old, and if anybody watches Donnie Laws, he loves old bullets like this, especially this part. But I think my brother will remember this. Usually around Thanksgiving and stuff, Christmas, we'd all have family get-togethers at the house, and we would take my grandpa's shotgun, which my brother now has. This is a bullet for that gun. But we would take that old thing out in the cornfield, and everybody, the dad's brothers, cousins, nephews, everybody would carry it, and it just seemed like every year we'd go shooting. And I had this one cousin, like he was small, he's still small, skinny, short, and he wanted to be, I'm bad, this gun ain't too bad, and me and my brother, dad, all his brothers were using like something like this. Small game type loads, but this one is something different. If you notice, it's made of paper. These ones over here, they're plastic. See the difference? Well, this one has tiny little pellets in it, but this one has one big old huge slug in it for deer hunting. It's a paper jacket. So whenever you shoot these small ones, it goes off, but it don't kick or nothing. Well, my cousin, he wanted to show off in front of everybody. He's like, let me shoot that gun. Well, while he wasn't looking, my dad put one of these in there and said, "Here, big boy, go shooting it." Well, he shot that thing, and that old 16 gauge pump shotgun kicked him so hard. He went flying backwards, and he's hollering, "Oh, my arm, oh, my arm," just crying like a little girl. And we all laughed so hard. And we said, "We thought you was a bad boy. What happened to you? You can't even handle a shotgun." But we never did tell him that we put that buckshot in there. So I found that going through. I got my dad and I a gun safe the other day, and I was putting some of the stuff in it, and I come across that, and I'm like, "That's going on this thing right here," because it's no good anymore. But it just holds a good memory, and I thought I'd share that with y'all. So that was a good time. Uh, let's see. Welcome in, Daryl. Appreciate you coming in. It's always good to see you. Now, I guess I'll get me off the screen and we'll get into reading some of these stories because I got a couple of them and a few of them are kind of long. So we'll see how far we get tonight, but sit back and relax and let's get into these stories. All right. This one's called The Blue Spirit. And it goes, "My name is Scott, and I'm a computer networking consultant in Southern California. A couple of years back, I had an experience that shook me to the bone. I can't ever imagine ever getting used to becoming easygoing about such ethereal beings visiting me as some people claim they have. As I get older, I'm realizing events from my childhood that were strange, but never did anything about it in particular. My encounter happened late one night in Marina del Rey, California. I had a small one bedroom apartment and spent a lot of time at home on the computer and strumming the guitar. I have always believed in the Christ as my Lord and felt that He is always present and closer whenever I call His name. So it makes me wonder just how nice these beings pretend to be sometimes. Like in some of your stories. Anyway, I was lying in bed listening to some Eric Clapton through my headphones when I was abruptly shaken. I can't recall the being must not have liked music, for the shake was violent. This blue thing hovered about a foot from my face. No noise or wavering movements, just silence and still hover. Not a lovely experience at 2 in the morning and everything pitch black. It seemed to be a royal bluish electric like presence with a very defined outline, and it meant business. It was very confusing for me at first. I had the feeling it was trying to show me something or tell me something. It waved its bluish hand towards itself. I can't say it was angry or happy, but definitely not inviting. The hand was very much human, but electric blue. I could not believe my eyes. A raw fear took over that I had never felt before, quickly followed by a cry for strength from our Lord Jesus Christ. This helped to get rid of fear and it was gone almost instantly in the blink of an eye. Just gone. I can't tell you how fast I ran to my living room with all the lights clicking on along the way. Sitting on my couch as quiet as a church mouse thinking about what just happened and wondered if I if I looked, let's see, if it took my territory. Excuse me. I said, "Sorry, pal. I just paid the rent, so I'm staying." Since then, I sleep on my side, and I don't like sleeping on my back if I can help it because I don't appreciate apparitions or blue beings, if you will, just popping in front of my face like that. Talk about a heart attack. I wonder how many people go through stuff like this and never say a single word. Wow. That's just a crazy story, and it makes you wonder, what did it want? Why was it trying to wave him on somewhere? And if he uttered, the words "give me strength" and the word Jesus made it disappear, makes you wonder just how evil that thing was. All I gotta say is I'm glad it wasn't me that experienced that one, because that sure enough was creepy. All right, for our next one, this one's called Digging. To understand this story, you need to know some background, not about the house that I live in, but about the land it was built on. The land our house was built on used to belong to a big historic mansion. Our house was farmland. In the downstairs of the house, there are two bedrooms, and when I was younger, I used to occupy the back one. One night I woke up, and right outside my window, I could hear digging in our backyard, like there was someone plowing it up. There was clumping and the sound of wheels moving like a wheelbarrow. When I told my mom this story, she thought I was joking or dreaming. There were two times when I heard the noise up close. One night when I was living downstairs, the noises started up again, and I stuck my head out of one of the windows in the room. There was nothing there, but I swear the activity was happening right in front of me. I heard the wheelbarrow passing right under my window, and I felt something brush against my face. I was 16, and I came home late one night from a party at a friend's house. I had nothing to drink, and being a night owl, I was wide awake as I was coming from my car up to the front door to right where my front yard meets the back. This is where the activity was occurring. I could hear the digging and the sound of the wheelbarrow hollowing something away. I don't know how to explain this noise, but I'm not scared of it anymore because in the 10 years I've been hearing it, nothing's ever happened. It makes you wonder, did someone die there in that particular area when it was a plantation? Did they pass while they were working the fields? Or did something else happen and maybe someone lost their life and their body was placed in the wheelbarrow and moved to a wagon and those wheels rolling is what they heard. Either way, it sounds like whatever it is was something that tragically happened way back in the day. That's another creepy story, and it's something that I would be interested in looking into. If I had something like that going on, it'd make me want to invest in some equipment and see what kind of answers I could get. And also a metal detector, because you never know what you could find. You might could come across something that's buried there that could explain the story some. So, all right, let's get into our third story, and this one's called The Old Church. In York, Nebraska, there is an old Catholic church. It's a very holy place of worship and definitely a spiritual influence to the town. Unfortunately, when the sun goes down, it becomes a very sinister place. The evil oozes of the walls. How do I know this? It's a place that my friends and I would meet to pray. Let me say, first off, I've always been a skeptic. I always look for logical answers to the unexplained. This, I can say, however, has no true explanation. One night, as we prayed in the old church, the furnace kicked on at its usual time at 11:30 p.m. That night, it was different. As it kicked on, my friends and I distinctly made out screams. I love to think it was the pipes leaking steam or something, but it was two different screams. One was a woman, the other a child. They grew louder as the minutes passed. I stood up, no longer concentrating on my prayer, but rather the feeling of dread that had disturbed such a beautiful ritual. I looked in the balcony and saw something very faint. The light from the window cast down on all the seats except for one. This seat, a figure that seemed to stop the light in its tracks around him. It appeared to be a dark cloaked man, very tall. He sat motionless, but I knew it watched us and didn't care what we were doing. My friend Kevin continued in his prayers, unswayed, but my other friend and I, we stopped. He knew what I was watching, and because he had seen it in a few nights before, I would find out later that several other friends had seen the specter. Could had it have been the father of the parish? I doubt it. I think he would have been more polite and simply asked what we were doing. What was the thing? I wish I could say. All I know is I cannot go back in that church to pray. Maybe the congregation knows of the evil visitor. They're building a new chapel this very summer. So that goes to show you, when somebody loves a place so much, they hang around. But this one seems a little odd. Why would they be up in that very top loft watching but never say a word? And the sounds of a lady and the child screaming through the furnace. That also makes you wonder, did something tragic happen in the basement of that place? Maybe the spirit up in the loft was the cause of whatever it was. Either way, that is one creepy story. And I don't think I'd be praying there at night anymore. I would be going at least during the daytime. Now, our last and final story is called Shadow and Light. I have two stories to tell. The first one is a few years back. I was home alone and sitting in my living room. I saw a shadow and I thought it was probably an animal, so I followed it. When I saw it go in the kitchen, I knew it couldn't be an animal. I saw the shadow. It was like a figure with a dark circle around it. I decided to follow it, keeping a distance. When I went into the kitchen, I did. When I got in there, it disappeared into the wall, walking straight into it. The other story is about my brother. He was sitting in his bedroom listening to the radio, and all of a sudden there was a bright light in the doorway. He looked up and saw the same figure that I saw. I went upstairs and it left before I could see. He turned white and I asked him what was wrong. He told me what had happened. I found out later an elderly lady died in our house. My goodness. Okay. What a story. I wouldn't know how to take that. Could you imagine just sitting there watching TV and all of a sudden you look up and there's a shadow that goes across the door and you follow it into the kitchen and it just disappears into the wall? Or you're up listening to the radio and you look up and there's a bright light just standing before you to only disappear. Man, oh man, what an experience. Wow, is all I can say to that. But these stories, I enjoyed them. A couple of them were creepy, and then there was some like that one that, finding out that it's a spirit of the lady that used to live there. Maybe she's just looking out for them, looking over them, making sure they're all right. So that one gives you a little peace anyway. Uh, no, what uh, what do we got coming up this week for a video? Okay. We actually have I have a submission that I will be doing um, the not this week but next week. Our awesome sister Nissy sent in a story from her great grandfather that we'll be sharing with you guys. It won't be this Saturday, like I said, it'll be next week. But this coming week, we're doing one that's kind of funny a little bit. It's three stories in one, and it's three stories of how mischievous young little boys learn how to act in church. And the idea for this actually came from our last live stream. Somebody had commented, we were talking about Pascagoula, Mississippi, and somebody had mentioned a song that was created in that area, and that kind of inspired this video that's coming up. It's actually, the last one's very funny, but they're kind of comedic. But at the same time, here in the mountains of Appalachia, when you go to church, you better behave, and your mama, she'll let you know real quick, like when you ain't. And these three stories are three experiences where little boys learn how to behave, and they're really funny. So that one will be coming up Saturday, and then the following week. I haven't really decided if we're going to do a video that week or not, because we actually have to take Hope to Huntsville Tuesday for state testing for school, and we're going to be staying a couple of days there. So we may just take that week off for like a little vacation for family. But after we get this story about the three boys learning their lesson out, then whether it's the coming Saturday or the one after that, it'll be the submitted story from awesome sister Nisi about her great grandfather. So that's what we got coming up. Last week, I forget what we did. Have to look. Oh yeah, we did a story that my dad told me called "A Ride Given from the Other Side," where he'd separated from his then girlfriend, and a man gave him a ride, and the whole thing was kind of strange. And then he come to find out um, it was a relative that he'd never met, but had died 2 years prior. So you'll have to watch that video and let me know what you think about it. And what was the one before that? Oh yeah, and then another one is submitted by Cody Lamb. The one before that was submitted by Cody Lamb. It was a story that he'd been told by one of our elders. It was kind of sometimes we pray to God to answer a prayer. We had a loved one pass, and did they make it? Did they make it home, or just they died in such a tragic way, and it's just, it really bothers you. And sometimes God gives you a little peek at where they're at. And this story is called "A Tragic Event Leads to an Unexplained Story," and it's a good one. It's along the lines of like my dad's story, but it's involving a train. So if you haven't watched it, go give it a follow. And I actually have had someone reach out today. In the past, we did a story on the Mitcham Beach War from Chilton County, Alabama. A resident from that area actually contacted me today, and his grandfather, which is still alive, which he's like super old, he's 100 and something years old, but had watched the video and was like, asked me if I would like to hear what actually happened, because he was there. He was a young boy during all this time. So maybe we'll have some content coming from that. And I've also, which I'm not too sure about this one yet. Don't know how I feel about it, but we've actually had a company that creates YouTube thumbnails for uh, for YouTube reach out and want to sponsor our channel and give us a they want to create our thumbnails for us and just shout them out. They're going to do our thumbnails for us, and it's going to be free for a month, and then they're going to give us like a 75% discount on it from there on out. But I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to do it or not. And it's not because I don't appreciate it. It's just, sometimes when you get a sponsorship, like they expect you to do, like they have, sometimes their expectations are not something that I can meet because of, like, when Hope, her health changes by the day and she could have a bad day and I may not be able to work on a video, which could put a video behind. And um, not to mention the email they used. I don't know if it's actually a real email or not, but uh, if we do use it, we'll be shouting them out. And um, I'm really trying to do whatever I can to get you guys interested and even other people interested in the videos that we do. So we're trying to do as best as we can with the thumbnails and trying to do topics that everybody's interested in. And we're just trying to further our channel. I mean, doing the best we can. I mean, you can't beat 2,023 subscribers. I appreciate that. And we're just trying to get our view count up some too, because we got 20,000 or 2,023 subscribers, but only 50 of you guys always watch. And usually those 50 are in our live stream. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all that are dedicated. We're trying to grow our channel a little bit and doing everything we can. So, and again, I'm sure y'all will get tired of this, but if you have a story, uh, prayer requests, anything of that nature, we got this email right here for that. Myers Tales of Appalachia at gmail.com. It's always here for you guys. It's always open. It may take me a minute to get everything answered back, but I will do it. And if you would like to handwrite or anything like that, letters, anything of that nature, we have the P.O. Box here, which is Myers Tales of Appalachia, P.O. Box 312, Scottsboro, Alabama 35968. And while she's here, I did get the cross repaired. The cross that we were talking about giving away, that's already been claimed. Nisi and David have sent so many stories, and we appreciate them. And they asked, could they have it? And absolutely, they've helped us with so many stories. So I got it repaired, and I've just tomorrow or something like that, I just got to find a box to fit that cross, but it'll be in the mail hopefully by next week. But we'll get that sent out, and we really appreciate the stories and the support that they give us. And that's coming your way. And we're still gonna do a giveaway for our 2,000 subscribers. I've just got we're trying to let things calm down right now a little bit because, like I said, we got doctor's appointments coming up, that 2-day trip with Hope's school stuff coming up. So when we get everything kind of settled down, we'll do the a giveaway. Probably I'm just going to keep this one and I'm going to remake it, but we'll have a Myers Tales of Appalachia plaque, uh, something similar to this, maybe not as big. Uh, I'll make it and we'll do a drawing and get that sent out, and that'll be coming up. Uh, like I said, if you guys have any stories or anything interesting that you would like covered, just let us know. And we appreciate you guys watching the videos, watching them all the way through, leaving the comments, sharing this out with your friends and family. That really helps. We just we can't thank y'all enough. And I guess with that, we will see y'all next week. Probably, well, we can't do a live next week. I don't think. What day is that? Thursday? Maybe next week. We'll probably be all right doing our live. Autumn's channel, we cannot do a live because we won't be here. We'll be out of town. But our live here should be fine. So I'll see y'all next week. And hopefully y'all enjoyed this. I always do. And until next time, we'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.